Let's talk about something that every traveler experiences, but nobody prepares you for, and that's toilets around the world. This is a video that you didn't know that you need to know. From high tech seats in Japan to holes in the floor in Asia, I've seen it all, and a lot of it was unexpected. So, in this video, I'm going to share with you what to expect as you travel around the world for the most delicate of indelicate conversations. Hi, we're the Cruise Port Captain Crew, exploring the world one port at a time. After more than 20 years of cruising, we've learned the best port days are usually the ones we planned ourselves. Doing it on your own lets you explore deeper, save money, and truly make the most of every stop. Join us for port guides, travel tips, and cruise know how to help you make every port day count. Check the video description for links to our favorite resources and tools that help us cruise smarter, and maybe they'll inspire your next adventure. Now, on to the video. Our first trip around the globe is Europe. So it's structurally familiar that they are pretty much the same as they are in the States and Canada. But something that is different that was shocking to me when I first went to Europe is that they charge to use the toilet. And this is almost everywhere except maybe restaurants and museums. So even if you're going to, say, a department store, there will be an attendant there and they're going to give you the evil stink eye if you don't give them the proper change. And this is everywhere in Europe. And also, the other thing is they're not really as plentiful as they are in the States. So you may be somewhere and you might be needing a toilet and it's not around. So we have a motto at the Cruise Port Captain Crew is that if you see one and you think you might go, you need to go. So that's the big trip for the Europe traveling scene. The next stop on our tour around toilets around the world is South America. In South America, it may be that they're going to ask you, they're going to put up lots of signs that say don't put toilet paper into the toilet. And it is a part of their plumbing systems. I've also found that it's the same way in the Caribbean and South America. So that is also very much a habit that we have because I always find myself doing it by accident at least once. So be sure that you are respecting it because you don't want their systems to clog up. That's a big thing. And also, I found out while looking into this that fun fact, we thought I've heard always the myth that if they were in the southern hemisphere that the toilets went counterclockwise when they flushed. That's not true. That is a myth. It is really however the toilet's designed, whether they go clockwise or counterclockwise. Who knew? Next up is the Middle East, Asia, and China, which of course technically China is in Asia, but I put them on there because I just been to China, so it's probably closest on my mind. But their toilets are completely different and they are called squat toilets. And you can look it up exactly what it means, but I was really unaware and unprepared for the first time that I ran into one, and that was the only option that there was. So, to delicately explain how it works, so you see my young friend there, how he is squatting. That is basically the body movement that you're going to need in order to use this toilet. So, in Asia, it's very common that they do this since they're children, so it's no big deal. As a Westerner, I definitely had some challenges, and I didn't know anything about this until I really caught myself in a pickle. So, just want to tell you, and if you're heading to Asia, I highly suggest you Google search what a squat toilet looks like. And the winner for best toilet in the world, the golden lid goes to our winner is Japan by a landslide. We could learn a lot from the Japanese and their very interesting and really top notch uh, toilets. And I don't want to get too crazy with the details, but here are some reasons why Japan is just way ahead of the rest of the world when it comes to this. First, they are everywhere and they are ridiculously clean. Even in a park, if you go to a park in the States and there's a toilet, restroom, it's hit or miss how clean it is. But in Japan, their ethics for cleanliness is really commendable. So wherever you are, you're going to find one. It is going to be like using your restroom at home. So first of all, that's one reason why they are best toilets in the world. Next, look at the mechanics of this. This is a high-tech toilet, and this was everywhere. Even in public toilets, they had an installed bidet, and even just calling it a bidet doesn't even give it justice. And that was the surprising part. Like I knew about this from other, just kind of mythically hearing about Japanese toilets. So I expected it in the hotels and I expected it in like some places, but this was everywhere. Airports, parks, shopping, convenience stores. And you can see it right there. You can take care of business in the most pleasant way possible. So that's why they win the cruise port captain vote for best lid. What did I call it? The golden toilet. No, the golden lid of the world. Runner up for the golden lid, though, is South Korea. And yes, before you, I did wait. There were no children in this bathroom. I would never take a picture of a restroom with children inside. But this was next to a children's museum in Seoul, South Korea. And you can see it's just, again, the cleanliness level amazing. And what was really fun about this uh, restroom, as you can see, it's really designed with kids in mind. Everything was lowered, and you can see those things were lowered too. So, runner up for the golden lid around the world, cruise port captain awards it to South Korea. To help you when you find yourself further away from the United States and Europe with the Western and Eastern toilets, I learned this by mistake, and boy, do I wish I'd learned this earlier. There were signs on the stalls. So the one sign clearly says it's a Western toilet, and then if they have both toilets, they usually will have that sign on the stalls, and that will help you kind of figure out if there's one available. Most of the time, especially if you're in a tourist area, both will be available. Sometimes the line for the Western toilet is a little bit longer if you're traveling with more people from the Western part of the world. But if that would help you, that certainly would have helped me. And boy, do I wish I had learned that earlier. If you find yourself that it really is too challenging to use the Eastern version of the toilet, and hey, I do not judge because sometimes I didn't go camping when I was a kid, so I do not have the quads for it. But the handicap stall will also usually be a Western style toilet because obviously you don't need as much muscle strength for that. So that's an option as well. I was always very careful. I never use them if somebody needs one. But if the restroom was empty and it was available, that's the one I went for. So that's a tip. Having these items with you will help you out in any sense of an emergency as you are traveling from the world because you just never know. So, having toilet paper or tissue with you, you don't need to bring a whole roll, um, but be smart about it. Antibacterial gel. Sometimes I've been some places in some parts of the world where there just wasn't even plumbing really hooked up to the restroom, so I couldn't wash my hands afterwards. So having that gel was important. Have a small trash bag with you in case you are going somewhere that they want you to not put it down the um, toilet, but you can't see a bin anywhere. Have it with you. And then always carry small change with you if you are in a location where they want you to pay for it. I would say, too, with Europe, what's changed over the years, too, it used to be when I first went there when I was in my 20s, it was like 20 cents. Now they want a whole euro. Can you imagine? That's like $1.50 to go to the toilet. So I have high expectations, but keep that in mind as you're traveling. This section is for my sisters out there as we are traveling. And if you are, one thing that I found traveling over the years is that, yes, this biologically happens to all of us. We all, women, we have our cycle. But it's not always to find what you need when you need it. So, my best advice is bring it from home just because usually, when this happens, you're not in a comfortable place anyway. So it's kind of comforting to have what you use and it's ready. If you don't bring all of it with you, because yeah, it gets bulky and it kind of sucks, at least bring enough for a couple of days. So you can either one try to find it on shore on a port day, or you can make it through to when you can buy it on ship. I will tell you, buying it on ship will be crazy expensive because they hike up everything by at least 75%. So it can be quite shocking. Now it's good you have them, but it can be quite shocking to pay that much for things that don't cost that much at home. The other reason you want to bring them with you is because if you have any kind of allergies or to certain fabrics or fibers, that may be why you want to bring what you use at home. And also, you may find yourself stuck. Like if you get to a port and something happens and you need to talk to somebody who doesn't speak English, and even Google Translate, who knows how effective it would be with that. Uh, that's another reason you just want to have it with you, at least for a little while. And I know it's not glamorous to talk about this, but I sure want you to have this information because it's helpful. And I'm always willing to help my sisters out. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a comment, or you can direct message me on this one too. Well, thank you for watching all the way to the end. That means that you found this valuable or helpful. And if you did, please share it with your friends, because this is information that it's just really not available. Nobody wants to talk about this. And this sure isn't going to show up on a cruise ship or a land travel brochure. But it's important, and it can certainly make your visit wherever you are comfortable, enjoyable, one less thing to worry about in the grand scheme of things. And if you could just do us a huge favor, if you also enjoyed the video, hit like. And more importantly, if you could hit subscribe. It takes just a second for you, costs you nothing, but it means the world to us as we're a new channel and we're so trying to get to that first level of YouTube. I don't even know what you want to call it, but YouTube awesomeness, let's call it that. So, again, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Make life a bon voyage. And if we can be any help, please write your comments or questions, or if you've run into this, what helped you out? And have a great trip. Bye.